Hello students, now we will start with new topic that is about circular charts or pie charts under biodiversity and conservation. What are these charts representing? They represent us the percentages of types of animals and also types of plants that are distributed. We know that according to Robert May, there are 7 millions of living organisms global wide. Out of these, 70% are of animals and 22% are of plants. Now regarding those 70% of animals, under invertebrates, if we take some of the organisms like insects, next other animals, next crustaceans, next about molluscs. Here, more number of insects are present comparing to other types of organisms. So this constitute insects type of animals or invertebrates constitute 70% of that 7 million. As we have said, according to Robert May, there are 7 millions of animals. Out of that, 70% are of animals. Now, out of this 70% of animals, again 70% are being occupied by insects, that is arthropoda. Next, the next priority goes to other animals. Here, percentage is not given and that much is not important for us, but we will see the sequence. Next, coming to crustaceans. These crustaceans are very less when compared to other animals in the pie chart. Next priority goes to molluscans. So, molluscans are more in number, but we can consider that they are equal to other types of animals. So, here will be molluscans. Here we can give one sequence like insects, other animals, molluscans and crustaceans. You can frame out your own mnemonics for this. Actually, here if you remember this word letter sequence or alphabet sequence, it is easy because all over your syllabus you are framing out many mnemonics. Just to remember IOMC. Next, coming to vertebrates. Under vertebrates, we will see 50% is being occupied by fishes. Next, it is by mammals. Next, it is by birds. And next by reptiles. Next one, priority goes to amphibians. Among all the vertebrates, fishes are present more in percentage. Plants, the angiosperms and fungus are taking major number or major percentage. So, here we will write in one part angiosperms and in other one fungi. Fungi is not coming under this one plants, but here we are seeing more number of plant types. This one is of lichens and this is of algae. Next, here we will see the equal distribution mostly. It will be of lichens and it will be of ferns and it will be of mosses. We know that ferns are studied under pteridophytes, mosses are studied under bryophyta, and lichens are nothing but symbiotic associated algae and fungi together. So these are the three different pie charts. Here what is important is the percentage of insects is important. Next is fishes and next is fishes which constitute 50%, and next one is about fungi and angiosperms. Though fungi are not studied under plantic kingdom, here the total composition of plants and fungi, if they are counted in percentage wise, fungi and angiosperms are taking equal percentage in the ecosystem or in the globe. It was stated that there are 12 mega diversity countries, and out of that India's position is 8th in rank. There are 12 mega diversity countries. It means that if we check out the countries, in which country there is more diversity, means more diversity is seen in 12 different countries. And out of 12, India's position is, or India takes 8th position or 8th rank in having the diversity, biodiversity. So this is about 8th position is when we compare with that of 12 mega diversities. If we see specifically in India, India has 2.4% of world land, and India has 8.1% of world's species diversity, of world's species diversity. These measurements are very important to remember. Next, India has 45,000 species of plants. Next, and India has 90,000 species of animals. According to Robert May, there are 22% of total species that have been recorded till now. Out of that 22%, how much number is for plants and how much number is for animals? So according to Robert May, there are 22% of total species recorded. This 22% means, coming to number of lakhs, 1 lakh of plants and 3 lakhs of animals, means both vertebrates and invertebrates. 3 lakhs of animals. These are some of important measurements and points regarding the pie chart percentages and different types of percentages when we compare India with that of world, and also when we compare different types of organisms in their number also. Likewise, 45,000 here, 90,000 here, 1 lakh here and 3 lakhs here. Not only the percentages, but the numbers are also very important. Next topic is biodiversity pattern. So, this biodiversity pattern, it explains us that the diversity is not uniform in the globe wise, and also there are different patterns to explain this complete biodiversity, means distribution of the organisms in global wise. Here we will know one important point, that in total world the diversity is not uniform. So there are different patterns to explain. One pattern is latitudinal gradient. Latitudinal gradient, it is an biogeographical pattern that defines how organisms are, or how organisms show variations based on latitudinal distribution or latitudinal position on the surface of the earth. Based on latitudinal position on the surface of the earth. Next. So as we move from the equator in a globe, for suppose think this is a globe. Here will be the equator, middle of the earth will be equator. So as we move away from the equator, the diversity, species diversity and the number of organisms both are less in number. It means that equator area is providing suitable atmospheric conditions or suitable conditions for the species diversity or for developing different types of organisms and showing variations. This we will see now. This is equator. As we move away from equator, variations in species or species diversity is less. Means as we are moving from equator to the polar regions. If we take this one, upper one as north, this is south, this is east and this is west. This north pole is called as Arctic region. South pole is called as Antarctic region. Now, for suppose there is one example according to NCERT, that is Columbia area is there, which is near to equator. It has 1400 species of birds. Here, species in the sense not the number but the types. Next, because it is near to the equator, so it is showing some of the diversity. Next one, New York. If you take, New York has 105 species of birds. Here, not again the number, but the species are representing types of species. New York is 41 degrees north to equator. Means while we are moving towards the Arctic region or towards the north direction. Means when we are moving, for suppose think this is 41 degrees north. So here we can represent New York. Other means when we are moving towards the polar region, the number or the types of species is being decreased. Here it is 1400, but it has decreased to 105 types of species. Other example we will take, that is about Greenland. Greenland is also 71 degrees north. Greenland is 71 degrees north to equator. It has 56 species of birds. Again here it is not the number but the species are of types. There are some areas which are near to the equator. Those are called as Tropic of Cancer in India we call. But there are some regions which are near to the equator. Those are called as tropical regions. Tropical regions. These tropical regions will show more and more biodiversity. They have more species diversity we can use. Next, while we are moving towards the polar regions, the regions near to the polar regions are called as temperate regions. They have less species diversity. But in the tropical regions, we can take one best example like Amazon forest, which is having very high species diversity. Next, if we see about Amazon forest, it is located in the tropical, it is of a tropical region, but it is, we can see this one in South American areas. According to NCERT, there are some numericals given regarding this. It is said that there are 40,000 types of plants. Next, 3,000 types of fishes. Next, there are 1,200 to 1,300 types of birds. Next, there are 427 types of mammals. Again, the same number is applicable to types of amphibians. Next, there are 378 types of reptiles. And it was said that there are 125,000 types of invertebrates. This Amazon forest is at tropic level. Next, so-called as tropical forest. Amazon forest is having rich species diversity. Amazon forest is also considered as lung of earth. Or lungs of earth. Next, because why we are calling it as lung of earth? Because more oxygen is released from this forest. These are some points regarding Amazon forest, which is considered as the highest species diversity area. Next important term is speciation. Speciation is a special type of function exhibited by organisms at a particular time or during evolution. Is a special function exhibited by living organisms at a time or during evolution. For suppose, if you take two different organisms of same species and they are showing some variations in the offsprings. For suppose you can take two different types of dogs also to get a new hybrid variety. That new hybrid variety is not considered as a new species. That is considered under same types of species. That condition or that process is called as speciation. So we will write just simplified meaning. It means new species or new breeds are formed as hybrids, but they are not considered as new species. And for the formation of new breed, it can take many years in course of evolution if it has to happen naturally. During the time, there should not be any disturbance regarding the climatic conditions or any of the other factors like food availability, etc. So, during this time or during this speciation, there should not be any disturbance in either climatic or food availability like factors, etc. Tropical regions have less environmental changes. Here, the presence of solar energy or availability of solar energy is much more. Availability of solar energy is very sufficient in tropical regions. Next, as we have seen here, there is less environmental changes. That one condition is responsible for more suitable for the biodiversity, means to develop new types of organisms. Here, tropical regions, since they have less environmental changes, we can predict what is the temperature changes that can happen in the next coming time period or during the days. Changes in tropical regions are predictable. In the sense, can be expected. Second pattern of biodiversity is species area relationship. What is meant by species area relationship? It is the relationship between plants and also animals with that of the specific area that they are living or specific area of land. Is the relation between plants and animals and size of specific area on land. This is called as species area relationship. It explains that as area increases, the species diversity also increases, but that is only up to certain level. This pattern explains that as the area increases or area size increases, the species diversity also increases, but only up to certain limit. This is studied by Alexander Humboldt. This pattern is studied by Alexander Humboldt. So he has given some graphical representation to explain this one. Take this as x-axis and this one as y-axis. On y-axis we take species richness, means species diversity, and on x-axis we will take the area. So according to him, there is a vast area, and when organisms are moving, when the area is more, then the graph represented is like this, like an hyperbola. It explains that this hyperbola looks like a rectangular hyperbola it represents that species diversity is more. As the area means we can say this complete area is nothing but of species richness or species diversity. If we draw an imaginary line like this one represents the number of organisms or the species richness in one particular area. This straight line indicates species diversity in a particular or considered area. So this is represented as Z. This straight line is indicated as Z. But this hyperbola, rectangular hyperbola, this is given with a special type of equation like S is equal to capital C, capital A and A square. This straight line which is indicating the species diversity in a one particular area, it includes more explanation about the Z, which is nothing but considered as the species richness. Here we can frame out one equation given by Alexander Humboldt, that is log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. What is this? S is indicating. S is equal to species diversity. A is indicating area. Z is indicating species richness in a considered area. And C is nothing but y-intercept. And C is nothing but y-intercept. So this is the graphical representation given by Alexander Humboldt. Here if we make a little bit change and explain one extra point regarding this graph. If during the MCQs, if a graph is given like this and here straight line which is indicating the Z, slope of the graph or slope line in a graph, this is y-axis and this is x-axis. If the graph is indicated like this and asked, what does it indicate? This indicates that the species diversity is more. This graph indicates more species diversity. If we take other graph and again the slope of the slope line is drawn in the graph, y-axis and x-axis, and again if they have given some representation like this, what is this area indicating? Still we can say here species diversity is more. It means that is more. Means we are selecting a particular area and asking about what is the type of species diversity there. As we have said that Z is indicating species richness in a particular area. This total we can consider as Z. Here also this total we can consider as Z. Here Z is indicating the species richness in one particular area.